Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to another great Chatting with Di. Let me do the intro song and let me tell you what we are talking about. If you can name it, you win 2 tickets to Hawaii. Anyone name it? If you can name it, 2 tickets to Hawaii. Alright, it's Heroes. Heroes by David Bowie. And we're talking about heroes. Oh, Deb's here, Canadian Queen. Canadian Queen, we're talking about heroes. Heroes for one day. And why did I pick heroes for the opening? Because we're talking about caregivers. And when we meet Jay, we're going to learn all about caregivers. We're going to learn that the ambulance that you hear right now, Rita, the Canadian Queen's here. Those are caregivers. They're taking someone to the hospital. But I played David Bowie Heroes because we're talking about heroes and those are caregivers. And we're talking about why caregivers matter so much to Jay. So Jay, I'm going to do a little intro. I'm going to need you to request to join and then I can invite you. So you might have to go out and get in and to hit the button request to join. So welcome everyone. I'm interviewing part 2 of Jay Asparro and why we need to know about this man. And I will put part 1, there you go, perfect. I will put part 1 in the show notes. So if you haven't listened to part 1, you can listen to them both. Who is Jay? Jay is an endurance runner and a coach, a father to 2 little love bugs, a hubby. He's got another day job, but his true passion is his non-profit, the Asparro Project, which was officially created after 7 years of inception. The mission was to create a place where caregivers were truly honored and supported. Each day at the Long Island Alzheimer's Dementia Center, where Jay is working with fundraising and working with them, it costs $80 a day for someone's loved one to be in a bed at the Long Island Alzheimer's Dementia Center. It's a lot of money. And caregivers need help and support, financially, emotionally, physically, all of it. So the passion behind Jay's mission was directly connected to the loss of his beloved grandmother, Anne. And from that time in his life, he witnessed, after her diagnosis of Alzheimer's in 2011, he witnessed a lot of changes in the family dynamic, in his own dynamic. He got kind of funky after that diagnosis. It's very layered. It comes with a lot of emotions and a lot of unknown. But Jay is a remarkable man because he knew he had to do something. And he did what he knew best. He ran. He's a runner after all. So he ran and ran and ran and ran like Forrest Gump. All in tribute to Anne, to raise funds for Liad, and ultimately his non-profit that was official last year. In 2015, Jay ran a marathon. 2016, Jay ran 90 miles in 3 days to honor his grandmother's 90th birthday. 2017, Jay ran 75 miles for Anne's 75-year wedding anniversary. 2018, he did an Ironman, even though he was kicked in the head by a fellow Ironmaner. 2019, he ran 100 miles. 2020, he did another Ironman while we were watching Tiger King during COVID. In 2021, he ran 100 miles from the Long Island Lighthouse. 2022, he ran 100 miles around the Farmingdale State College track, a 24-hour run, and Rita and Deborah and I ran or walked with him. In a hurricane, people, in a hurricane. And 2023, he ran again 100 miles for his nonprofit, the Asparro Project, at Farmingdale State College. And it rained the entire time. And Deborah, Rita, and I were there. Okay, so questions, because we are on a time schedule. Let me bring him in, the one and only. And voila. 1, 2, 3, and there's Jay. And voila. There you go. Go live with Jay. And voila. It's gonna happen. I don't know, the and voila doesn't work. We'll get it. We always do. I don't know why it has to be so annoying. Go live with Jay. All right, that's 3 times, Jay. I'm gonna be a pain, and I'm gonna invite you in again. And voila. Really annoying when the and voila doesn't work. Hang in there, people. Hang in there. Yeah, it's saying he's unable to join. You are able to join. And voila.
There.
I hear you. I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you.
I see you.
Oh, well, hi. We can do this. I'm not worried. We can do it. I know you're tired. I know we're all tired. Can I ask you one more time? Can you go out and in? Maybe 3 times will be the charm.
All right. Rita sees me. Sharon sees me. Michelle sees me.
Well, I mean, we can just,
I'll go
so
out.
you all see him? I'm sorry. I I could do it without seeing you, but I'd really love to see you. I'm sorry, Jay. Do you mind? Ah, I'm sorry. That was really annoying.
All right.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm so happy to see you. I didn't want to do it without seeing you.
No, it would be hard, but here we go.
I know. Okay, we're going to be really focused because we got a hard 9 o'clock. So, you heard the intro. You see all the love coming in. Let's start off with the most important question. What you created in honor of your grandmother, Anne, and to honor the role of caregivers is truly so beautiful. I was so happy to run with you in 22 and 23. And as we end 23, what are your plans for the Anne Asparro Project in 2024, which will be your grandmother's 5-year anniversary of passing?
Yeah. So the Asparro Project, and what it is it's a nonprofit where we raise money, and then each quarter of the year we find a caregiver who is struggling. They can be vetted. And then what we do is we're going to connect with that caregiver and support them by maybe paying their bills. So far, we've helped one particular friend of ours who was going through a difficult time, and we paid some of the bills that they had to pay. Another time, Jen Kurtzman, who's my co-founder with the Asparro Project, we took the caregivers out to lunch from Long Island Alzheimer's Dementia Center. We just took them to lunch to share what we are doing for them and hear a little about their story and almost create somewhat of a small networking group, if you will, of caregivers. So they have a support group. Next Wednesday, we are going to be doing a holiday breakfast at the Long Island Alzheimer's Dementia Center, sponsored by the Asparro Project, to bring a holiday breakfast to the caregivers who are dropping their loved ones off, to the participants who are going to be at LIAD, and then especially the staff members at LIAD, to thank them for all they do for those in the community living with Alzheimer's. So I don't know what we have for 2024 just yet and how we're going to support caregivers. But right now, it hasn't been finalized, but for the Asparro run, what I want to do is I'm going to run a marathon a day for 7 days, starting on a Monday and then finishing on Sunday, and doing it on a track, so we can make that the final day, the final marathon on that Sunday. We will have an event where teams can come down, they can run on a track, and I'm going to run a marathon on that track. Not finalized, but it's what I'm feeling, because as much as I run 100 miles on a track in honor of the caregivers and running in a circle to signify that they don't have a finish line as a caregiver, they're mentally and physically drained. I think every single day that they wake up, it's like they're running a marathon when they take care of their caregiver. So that's going to, or take care of their loved one, I'm sorry, as a caregiver. So I feel like if I do a marathon every day for a week, that could hopefully create a platform to let those caregivers and other people know that how tough it is for them every single day.
Amen. Amen. Wow, you guys are really doing great work. Such important work. So you created the Asparro Project in honor of caregivers, like you mentioned, and kind of building the community of them together. Ironically, I have been caregiving for my friend. He's my neighbor. He's going to be 90 tomorrow. We've been taking care of him for 3 years. And for the last 2 weeks, he's been in the hospital. He fell while doing a shop at Whole Foods. And it's been brutal. It has been brutal physically, emotionally, mentally, all of it, for my husband and I. And the most frustrating thing is to see all of the levels and complicated communication between ER and doctors and nurses and family. It's a lot. So I feel for you, because I'm kind of in the thick of it right now. And it's only a tiny window. It's not like Rita, who had nearly 2 decades of caring for her beloved mom. So what is your greatest wish that you can provide for the caregivers? And what is your why? Like, why are you so moved to do this remarkable work?
Because they're the ones that are stepping up to take care of a loved one when no one else will. And their commitment and their dedication, their sacrifice of putting their life on hold for another human being is, that's why they're my hero. That's what they do. They don't have to do it. Most other people won't do it because they can't, and they keep showing up for their loved one in the most difficult of times. And it's the stress that they go under, and the sacrifice and all the stress. I want them to know that there is hope. There are people out there that, because they're alone and they feel like they're all by themselves. So we are trying to create a platform to let them know we may not be able to help you, but there's people here that have compassion and empathy for you. And it's not we feel pity for them, but we're here just to hear your story and what we have created. Most caregivers are not capable of sharing their story with other people because other people don't have the understanding or the compassion. But with us, they know if a person's running 100 miles on a track in a circle for them, well, I think he has a little understanding of what we're going through, even though I don't, and I've never been a caregiver. I don't want to pretend I have been a caregiver. I don't know what that stress is like. But if they could share with me, and this has happened over the last 8 years, they share their story of some of the things that they're going through as a caregiver, and I can see their shoulders drop. They feel a little better. And it's just by having a conversation with somebody that understands and makes them feel better. And then better yet, if we could create a community where they can talk to each other. And then where we're getting to right now, I see in the future, is that we have caregivers who have lost their loved one and they're no longer a caregiver. They're continuing to grieve. They are still grieving for that whole entire process of them being a caregiver. They've learned something, and now we want to have a mentorship where those caregivers who've gone through it, well, maybe they could heal by helping other caregivers who are in it right now. So that's the vision that I have, is in connecting those two so that those that are in it right now have someone to speak to, and then those who are continuing to grieve after caregiving, they can heal by supporting those that are in it now. So that's the ideal mission.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that is I always talk to Rita about how much knowledge. I mean, Rita was so good. She taught me a lot about caregiving. And for anyone who doesn't know, Rita's a fellow family member here who took care of her mother for nearly 2 decades, who had Alzheimer's. And she taught me so much about, like, this is what you do now, and when the nurses are failing you, this is what you do now. Every day, Rita taught me. And I thought, and she's grieving. She lost her mom. There's a grieving process that she's definitely still in. But when she's able to, I said, Rita, you could be such a great teacher, like you mentioned, to someone else that doesn't know where to begin. And you've got that roadmap. I love that, Jay. What a great idea to implement that into your project. I love that. So, I'm gonna say the next one is from the moment I met you, I was in awe of your drive, your dedication, your discipline, and your focus. There are a few what I call J-isms or quotes from our last interview that have really stuck with me, and I love them both. So tell me, you can pick either one, what they mean to you. One of them is, if you do easy things in life, life will be hard. If you do hard things in life, life will be easy. The other one I love is, if you chase your fears away, your dreams will chase you.
Yeah.
So what do either one of them mean to you?
So yeah, you chase your fears and your dreams will chase you. So the thing that you are most scared about, that's probably the thing that you want the most. Most people run from that or stay away from that or try to not attempt doing something. Your fear of your dream, right? You fear of doing something impossible, like running 100 miles across Long Island. I feared that, and then I just went for it. And by going for it, I had other things that were pushing me, is because I was doing it for my grandmother. I was doing it for people who are really struggling. And it was such a fear, and it's a scary thing because there's no one else to turn to. I didn't know anyone else who ran 90 miles over 3 days. I didn't know anyone else who run 100 miles on a track. But I went after it, and that was a fear, because what if I fail? But you know what? I went every single day looking at, hey, I'm going to do my best. And if I fail at it, so what? But I'm going to chase this thing that scares the crap out of me. And then what happens is, if you achieve it or you don't, well, now look, right? Now I'm at a place where my dreams are chasing me. I continue to talk about my grandmother every single day. On a random Thursday night in December, I'm talking about my grandmother because I chased my fears of running across Long Island over 3 days, running 100 miles on a track to honor her. And now my dreams are coming true because I get to continue to talk about her. I have a sign behind me with her name on it every single day. And now I get to help people who are struggling. And that's something I always wanted to do. So I've struggled in life and didn't have anyone to turn to, and I had to figure it out on my own. And now I have compassion for people who are struggling. And I think I have empathy, and I have a way to connect with people who are struggling, to know that I'm not better than anybody else. I don't know it, but I've been where you are. I'm going to be back struggling again, but I found ways to get through it. And that's why I help people. So chase your fears, your dreams chase you. And yeah, you do the hard things in life, life becomes easy. I don't like going to cryo. I don't like taking ice baths. It's a hard thing to do. But by me doing that, it keeps my body young. It keeps my recovery and inflammation going, so that I can continue to run. I can continue to do these type of platforms and running to talk about caregivers and supporting them. Yeah, just doing the hard things every single day, like having tough conversations with people that you may have, and because it's the right thing to do. Being honest with people is not the easiest thing to do, but that's what you need to do. People shy away from being honest with people, but how you say it, and being honest with yourself, accountability. So those things, being accountable, it's a hard thing to do. But when I'm accountable to myself and I hold myself to a higher standard, it's really hard to do. Well, then life becomes easy.
You know, you mentioned something about some of the things that you have for the end of the year. And one of them, I think, was a breakfast that you have for caregivers. It's interesting because you've created a place where people can tell their story and you're listening to their story. And I think anyone who knows the best value of really honoring a heart is to be able to listen to someone's story. You're not going to change, you're going to help change their life, but the most important impact is that you're there and you're like, tell me your story. And I think that's a really valuable part of what you do. And you have such empathy for them, you know, and your running is like your heart for them. So I love that. And I do love your quote. And I can't wait for your book and your TED Talk.
Yeah.
I guess you don't have enough to do. I just threw on more. TED Talk and book. I'm waiting.
When
All
we
right.
get 36
Huh?
hours when we get 36 hours in a day, I got it all. I'm gonna get it all done.
I'm sure you'll figure a way to have 36 hours. I know you. All right, so we're going to deviate for a minute. So after a 20-year break of running, after COVID, I started running very slowly and for very short areas. But I love it. And I'm really curious, as an endurance runner, what is the first step you take with your clients? I know that your Gia, the lovely Gia, ended up doing an Ironman with you. She is amazing, and I believe you coached her. And the other thing is, my brother is, he's an athlete, and he took me on a coaching run. It terrified me. He wanted to help me improve. And what I learned was my stride, my shoulders and my hands, the way they were positioned, and my breath. He called me the Puff the Magic Dragon. And the final thing, and you can just kind of pick anything, is recovery. So for an endurance runner and a coach, I'm sure you talk to your clients a lot about recovery. I have learned about plunging, and I love it. I haven't done cryo yet. So I'm kind of just opening a little window of what would you like to share about your coaching, how you approach clients,
Okay. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. 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 It's not that complicated. First thing I do, it's not. All it is, you have to have action. You got, and I break things down to make it so simple. Where if you're gonna run and you haven't really ran before, we start walking. You're not gonna go start running. It's just impossible because you can't go to 0 to 100. So first, I make them know it's possible. You know, what their goal is. Like Gia never thought she could do a half Ironman, which is a 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile bike, and a 13-mile run. She just never did that. And I said, well, first you got to stop thinking you can never do this. So we're going to do it, and then we're going to put a plan in place, and we're going to start really slow. And the process has to start 8 months in advance. And you can't start 3 months in advance for you because you haven't done this before. And we're going to start. We have 8 months to get things right, and we break it down 2 months at a time because we had 8 months, so we have 2 months. We're going to just get a new routine started. And starting a routine, and I had her start off bike one day, run one day, and swim one day during the week. And we went from there. And then we built it up over the next 6 weeks. So we went 2 days a week. And it's just about going. It's not about speed. And then it's just, you have to get started, and then we'll eventually start working on mechanics and things like that. And recovery and running sneakers and nutrition and then sleep and that, there's so much. Then nobody wants to do anything, right? When you build it, it's like, it's simple. Just go for a walk. Go out and go for a run and jog. And when you jog, you should be running at a pace where you could sing and run. If you're running and you're singing and you're out of breath, you're going too fast. And that's your heart rate. And it's all about your heart rate. And if your heart rate is at the right place, I mean, I have a monitor. I know my heart rate right now. When we're starting, we're going to start from the very basics, and we're just trying to get these runs done. And it's not about time. And it's not about world records or PRs. It's like, you are where you are, and we just want to get things done. So I try to bring it down that simple. And then, yeah, recovery is really important. Foam rolling, stretching, hydration is extremely important. Nutrition, what you're putting in your body is going to cause inflammation. If you're out there running and you're walking and you're eating like bread, or you're eating sugar and all these other things that are going to cause inflammation, well, obviously your body's out there moving and running, so it's causing inflammation. You're putting food in your body that's causing more inflammation. Then there's going to be pains. Then there's going to be tightness. Then you're not going to be able to perform and keep going. So I don't know. I think that was a long-winded answer, but
No, no, no. I
I think
think
it's
I think
simple.
it was brilliant. Maybe I'm going to hire you as my coach.
Yeah.
But I started. I actually tell you the truth. I love that you said that. I started walking in COVID, and I never thought that walking could be that hard. And I remember like saying, "All right, let's just do a mile," and I'm like, "Wow, a mile is a really long way." And and so I started by walking, and then what I did is I walked one song and I ran one song, and I alternated, and then I did two in one, and then I did three in one, and it brings me tremendous joy. But yeah, I would like to have better form, and maybe I'll hire you.
Yeah,
But
yeah. You just got to get it done. It's action. People are
I
stuck.
do. I run
Yeah,
every day.
that's amazing. And then what?
I'm really.
And last thing for me, yeah, I just ran 100 miles and I walk now. I don't run. Maybe I haven't ran. I've been walking. I've been walking 3 miles, 4 miles. I walk. And then even with my running in the 100-mile run on the track, I ran for 7 minutes. I walked 3 minutes.
Yeah, I
Just that
remember.
movement.
Yeah,
Just
I
movement.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up, as a chef and a health coach, I started a business called Healing Fully, Living Freely. What does that mean to you today?
Healing fully. Healing fully and sorry.
Healing fully and living freely. It means something different to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, healing fully is, listen, we all have issues. We all have things that happen in our life. I can tell you things that happened to me that caused me to react a certain way. Certain things that were really bad in my life where I was, and I'm not, we don't have time to go into that. And I let that affect how I perceived life because something bad had happened to me. And until you realize the bad things that happen to you are lessons, and we're going to learn from that. And when we learn from that, we become stronger. And then the good days and good things that happen to us, and we have gratitude and we can feel that gratitude, that's healing. I think then now I'm healed. Now I know how to have compassion. I know how to have empathy. I know how to have perspective on life and help people. So healing freely, right? You said, so I think we got to know
Healing fully,
fully. So
living
healing fully,
freely.
I think that's
But
knowing
I
that.
like it either way. Yeah.
Yeah, healing fully, knowing that freely. Sorry, knowing that like I healed. It's just about the healing process. A lot of us have a lot of things that happen to us and we can't get over it. We got to know that the bad is good for us and the good is good. That's it.
Well, we did it, 8:55. If there are any questions in here, throw them out. I wanted to give a hard 9 o'clock shut for Jay. He's got a lot on his plate. Anything you want to share? Oh, where can we find you? Where can we find you? How can we support you? Yeah, how can we support the Asparro project?
So on Instagram, JSparrow7, the Anna Sparrow Run website, so annasparrowrun.com. What's up, Jen? Love you too. Yeah, the annasparrowrun.com. That's the website. JSparrow7. That's where you can find me. That's where I am all the time.
All right. Well, Jay, I want you to go because you are go, 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 and you had 9 million things to do, and you fit the
I
skin.
look
Because
tired.
I'm
I'm
a
looking at
pushy.
myself and I'm like, oh my God.
No, 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 no.
Thank
You
you.
look great.
But before we go, I want to say thank you to you and the gratitude and appreciation we have for you for the past 2 years, the money that you have raised, the support you have given us, coming on lives and supporting Jen and I, supporting the project, supporting Liad, coming down to the track, supporting Rita and oh my God.
Canadian Queen, Deborah. Oh my
Deborah.
God,
Yes,
Deborah.
that's how tired I am. But
Good job. It's all
Deborah,
good. The
Rita, I mean,
Canadian
supporting them,
Queen.
having them stay with you, bringing them down to the track. We are so grateful for all your support. So and your
Look,
support for all of the caregivers. So
if,
we're so
you know
grateful.
what? If for anyone who knows me, when I love something and I believe in it, I'm in
Sorry,
awe of it. I know Deborah's like, oh my God,
I'm
Canadian
huge.
Queen. When I love something and I'm in awe of it, and I love the work that you and Jen are doing, and I'm was so honored to even be a part of it, a tiny part of it. You're not going to get rid of me. You're not going to get rid of Rita and Deborah. We're with you forever. And yeah, it's a privilege to be able to talk to you, and a privilege to be able to support you and your incredible mission.
Thank you so
Now go to
much.
bed.
I
Go to bed. Take a
sorry.
bath.
Yeah, work was late last night, all day today, and then coaching basketball for my daughter. Thank you. Now I almost called you Deb. Thank you, Diana.
You can call me Canadian Queen. Anyway, we love you. Go to bed. I'm going to wrap up with my 9 million followers. I'm so grateful for you. Have a wonderful holiday. Give my love to your family.
Same. Have a wonderful
And
holiday.
am I
Thank you.
doing it right?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Deb, I
Go to
love
bed.
you. Rita, thank you. Jen.
Everyone stay on for a minute while I wrap up. Night, Jay. Okay, good night, Jay. Oh my God. All right, beautiful people. We're all tired. I've had a hell of a 2 weeks. Like I mentioned, if you heard in the beginning, Billy and I have been caring for someone for 3 years, and they fell, and they're in the hospital, and they've been there for 2 weeks. And, you know, it's a lot. And it's a continued reminder of what the work caregivers give and why what Jay and Jen do and the Asparro Project is so vital to support caregivers. If you know a caregiver, hug a caregiver. Support them any way you can. I will, Deb. It's been a really rough couple weeks. But I'm going to end with, I began with heroes because caregivers are all heroes. And I'm going to end with, if you can name it, you win 2 tickets to Hawaii. I'm going to end with, you know, Jay is someone who's very determined to honor his dreams and really know what the value of his why and his purpose. And he never gives up. He's like a real dreamer. And oh my God, he's just someone I'm so proud to call my friend. So if you can name it, 2 tickets to Hawaii. Well, they kind of just get the title, didn't they? If you can name the band. Dream on. Dreamer. 2 tickets to Hawaii, people. No one? 2 tickets to Hawaii. Frankie's naming it right now. No one? Come on, Heather. No one? I don't see anyone here. Anyway, it's brand new heavy. Dream on, dreamer. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of the night. Dream on, people. Don't ever let go of your dreams. Don't ever let go of them. We need to honor our dreams and follow through. Heather, that was brand new heavy. All right, bye, Lala. Bye, Jaja. Bye, Deborah. Is that your name? I love you all. See you later.